Everyone, and welcome to Cosmic Conversations. I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and I want to welcome you to this episode on the Conscious Awakening Network. Now, please visit us at the consciousawakeningnetwork.org, sign up to be on our mailing list. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We would really appreciate that. And if you're watching us on Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, Android, drop us a line and let us know that you're out there. We always love to hear from you. So all month, this month, my co-host is Ariel Patricia. Now, Ariel is an ordained interfaith minister with a sacred story and a sacred storyteller who feels very passionately about sharing the deeper experiences and the wisdom of spirit. She's the founder and CEO of Sacred Stories Publishing and Media. She's a conscious online which is a conscious online media network whose mission is to help write a better world. Together, tonight, we are bringing, as we have been this entire month, a month full of goddess energy. So get ready to meet our third speaker in this series, Raja Sharima. And here to introduce her is my co-host, Ariel. So hello, Ariel, and welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks, Sheila. Yeah, super excited. And week 3 of Goddess Month. And we have another great speaker, another great spiritual teacher, another great show tonight. So let me introduce Rajeshri Ma. She's a master of 4 Reiki lineages and a venerated interspiritual teacher of meditation, yogic wisdom, and holistic wellness. Rajeshri Ma understands healing as a practice of opening to the universal love that is limitless and without conditions. She needs to realizing the divine within each of us. A little bit about her background was after embarking on a long course of deep meditation in 2008, Rajeshri Ma experienced a many-year series of mystical encounters with the Divine Mother in the form of Kali-Maa. Out of these revelations, a new Reiki lineage, Kali-Ki Reiki, and the Wisdom School, which is her school, for midwives into the world. The Kali-Ki Reiki symbols are light forms that transmit the universal love force energy of healing to all, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. They're absolutely phenomenal. And her book that we're going to be talking about tonight as well, May the Love Force Be With You, introduces Kali-Ki Reiki to others for healing and conscious expansion. So Rajeshri Ma, I'm just delighted to have you as part of our Goddess Month, and I'm going to ask you to say hello and hold up a copy of your beautiful book, and we can get started.
Okay, thank you for the lovely introduction, Ariel. I see a message saying there's some background static, so hopefully, oh, well, you just muted, so I'll mute next time, and hopefully that'll take care of it. So this is the book, May the Love Force Be With You, and the subtitle is Kali-Ki Reiki, Healing Through Divine Mother and Yogic Wisdom. And this is one of our symbols, and you can see it is indeed a symbol of light. And if you look closely, you might even see those 2 symbols that combine it, the Trishul, the trident, and the Om dancing together. And these are dancing forms of light that are our symbols.
Rajeshri Ma, do me a favor and open the book though, and just show it within the book. There are other Kali-Ki Reiki symbols, and we'll dive into this more. But this book it's actually 500 pages, and it is packed not only with Rajeshri's journey of and how the downloads and how the symbols came to her, but the whole part 2 is the way to understanding the symbols, what the symbols mean, how to use the symbols, practices and meditations with the symbols. It's really a phenomenal.
Thank you. I think sometimes people feel it's a little daunting because it's 500 pages and it's just like not meant to be read all at one time. That's for sure.
Yes, it's a book, and it's a manual together. Yeah, you can see the beautiful symbols. You can see, and they're all explained within the book. I think the feedback's coming from me, so I'm going to ask you a question and let you kind of take it away. But in your book, you describe Kali-Maa Reiki as a new healing lineage directly revealed by the divine feminine, which is a pretty massive statement. Why do you think this lineage was revealed to you now? And how is Kali-Maa Reiki different from other Reiki lineages?
Yeah, important questions. And it is like a big statement. It's a big statement to be founding a new lineage of Reiki healing. And I got to tell you, I was like very, very cautious in introducing the lineage into the world. And there's several of our Kula on the call right now, but we've been a small group kind of practicing locally for a very long time until I got the message that it was time to write the book and get the information out there. So it's kind of a big deal to say, oh, well, we have now a new lineage of Reiki healing, and it was directly revealed by Divine Mother. And yet that is my experience. And like you said in the introduction, beginning in 2008, I was already a practicing clinical psychologist by that time, actually going on 30 years. I was a Reiki master in several lineages, and I was embarking on this very deep Kashmir Shaivite yogic path of meditation, and I'd been meditating for many years. And suddenly it was like those three things just coalesced, and I began to have visions, really. And I tell the story in the book of the first vision that came to me, and it happened over the course of 7 nights, when I would be awakened every night in the middle of the night by a light that just had no source, but it was diffuse. It was everywhere. It wasn't like I was just in meditation with my eyes closed. I could see this light with my eyes wide open. And there was just no outside. I checked. There was no outside source of this light. And every night it's like it began to take on form. It was like light was emerging from the light, right? And that also doesn't happen unless there's a source projecting it. Well, ultimately, I think it was the ultimate source that was bringing these lights into being. And by the end of the 7th night, it was clearly in the form of like 3 lines and a horizontal line, the trishul, the trident. And I didn't understand then how important the trident is in the yogic philosophy. Of course, I've since delved into it and I talk about it a lot in the book. But we all know in Western culture how important trinities are, right? And that it is the symbol of the Trinity, but it's also a symbol of the power of the divine, what I call love force, right? The love force, other Reiki lineages and other people talk about the life force, the ki of Reiki, the chi, the prana. But I call it the love force because it's power, but it's the power of love manifest. And so this was just the beginning, this one symbol. I wasn't sure at all what to do with it, except that I did get a message, and that was from Kali-Maa, the divine mother, as she was coming to me. And basically she was saying, this is a healing symbol. Okay, so I take it home, I start practicing with people, I show it to my teachers and my teachers' teachers, and they all go, whoa, and it's not like any of us have never seen a trident, right? But using it in the way that we were as a Reiki symbol was just creating all kinds of phenomenal experiences. And then over the course of time, more showed up. Never when I expected them. Always I would think, okay, this is it. That's done, And then after a while, it was like, oh, I guess that, there are a lot of these. There are a minimum, there are 12 main symbols now, and each one has multiple iterations. But back to the question of like, why now? For me personally, I think it was a convergence of my practices, but I think it's much more than that. I feel like it's actually much bigger than that, and that is that our world needs the energy of the divine feminine right now. And it's not just her soft energy. It's not just the energy of the Om, of the unity, of all of that, but it is also the power of the ability to do and to act and to make a difference in the world. And so that's how these two symbols actually came together. But she is crying out for us to be crying out about the transformation that we need to have happen in the world, and that if we can make this transformation in our own hearts and come into our own love force, our own power of love, we, every single one of us, anyone who it feels this energy, we can make a difference at these critical times. And if we don't, we know where the planet can be headed. So I think, she was saying it's time to reintroduce me. And I'm, certainly I'm not the only one. Kali-Maa Reiki is not the only one that is reintroducing the goddess into the world. The previous speakers have talked a lot about how she was systematically X'd out of much of the Western tradition. But she wants us to begin to recognize her. And it's also an interesting kind of fact. There are multiple Reiki lineages, and Reiki is a very powerful form of healing. But as far as I know, none of them have actually been revealed to or come through a masculine form. I mean, a feminine form. They've all, been revealed to us through men, wonderful, enlightened beings. But it's like there's a reason for this. And so I've just been following the messages and working with the symbols and sharing the symbols with others who are interested in them. And the beautiful connections and networking and force that's arising has been spectacular, actually.
That's beautiful. I was just wondering, I know you said that the original symbol came to you during a workshop. Was there information then, or has it come to you as to why these symbols came to you? Was this a soul contract that you had made?
Yeah, Sheila, it actually didn't come to me during a workshop. It came to me over the 7 nights of light. But I had just given a workshop in which I brought 3 things together, which were Reiki, yoga asana, and meditation. So again, 3, right? And it was the first time I had done a workshop like this. And, this is back in 2008, and it wasn't being done. And it was a very powerful experience. And I think the Shakti that got built up from that workshop was part of it, because it was the night after that these 7 nights first came. But what was the second part of your question?
I was just wondering if it's been revealed if the reason that this came was also because you may have had a soul contract to bring this divine information through.
Yeah, I can only imagine that that's the case. That's certainly what I've felt. And I certainly don't feel like Kali-Maa Reiki is unique to me now in this century. I actually feel like it's a wisdom school, a mystery school that has been around for a very long time, was lost, and that part of my dharma in this life is to bring it forward again. And I'll go a step further, Sheila, because I know in one of the recent conversations you were talking about, interdimensionality. I'm not actually sure that Kali-Maa Reiki in the Wisdom School was part of ancient cultures here, but I'm sure that it has had a very solid existence, if not on this planet or this dimension, elsewhere, because I am not the inventor of this.
Right. But you did bring it through in this lifetime. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's such a blessing, such a gift, and it's contributed, of course, to my continual wisening, my spiritual awakening, to be able to have uh, to be able to have and to hold this sacred energy and to bring it forth to others. It requires that the vessel of transmission, right, be as pure of a vessel as possible. And so, that's my responsibility, my obligation to do what I'm doing with integrity and true universal love.
Beautiful. Now, yeah, I'm a Reiki master under two different lineages, but and with all of the Reiki that I have studied, there are attunement processes. Is that part of the Kali Ki Reiki as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and also because you're a Reiki master, you may have been trained under the tradition where we don't share the symbols, right? You keep the symbols private. And of course, all the symbols are all available for traditional Reiki online, and they have been for many years. So even though you might get attuned to a symbol and be, asked not to share it, anybody can get access to it. And so when I got a very clear order, so to speak, to write the book, and then I struggled for a while, like, well, Ma, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to put these symbols out there or not? And the argument in traditional Reiki tends to be, well, if you if the symbols are out there, they'll get kind of diffused and dissipated, and their potency may not be as good. We want to protect their strength. So I actually have several things to say about that. So, but the message I got was, yes, the symbols need to be shared, and this is part of the goddess energy, right? Let's be open. We don't have to hide this, and people will get from it what they will. So I've had people that have read the book, they haven't experienced any attunements, right? But they're feeling the energy. They're using the symbols like what in yoga we call yantras, sacred geometric figures that transmit the energy of the deity that they're connected with. And so people are finding that they're getting an empowerment, sometimes just from studying the book. And then if they want to take it further and really learn how to do the healing work with it and really learn how to use the symbols for their own wisening, their own awakening, then, then they're going to seek out attunement and classes. So I think it's actually, it's a different kind of step. And then also what you would notice would be different about our symbols, of course, is, that they're portrayed as light on dark. Now, I think actually all Reiki symbols are light, but they haven't been portrayed that way, right? So they look like black lines and they look two-dimensional, right, on white paper. And unfortunately, we couldn't figure out how to graphically make our symbols look three-dimensional, right? But they're not static. And in traditional Reiki, it's like, now you draw it this way and you get it right and you remember it and don't ever change it. well, you know what? They dance, they move, they change. And this symbol, for example, which is a symbol about the cosmic harmony, the symphony of the universe, right? The symphony of the spheres, so to speak, the music of the spheres. Well, it doesn't just end here. It keeps going and going and going. And, it's the Kundalini. It's the life force. And it's the Kundalini, not just of the individual body, right? It's the serpentine dance of the entire universe. And so our symbols are intended, yes, to work both in the microcosm of the human body, animal bodies, plant bodies, but also, they are dancing essences of the universe, of the cosmos. We're having a cosmic conversation, so this is what it is. And also, these symbols are like her imprint, right? It's a way of us for connecting and quote unquote seeing and dancing with, healing with, working with her energy. And each one of these symbols, I happen to think they're absolutely gorgeous, right? They're beautiful. And each one of these symbols has kind of like like in traditional Reiki, it works in a specific way. It's kind of like its specialty. Okay, so we've got one symbol that really grounds us, and we've got one symbol that connects us with the heavens, and we've got one symbol that helps us to fly through time and space. Okay, but all the symbols are also universal, and any one of these symbols will offer the healing, the resonance, the wholeness that we need. Not only will they offer the wholeness, but before they offer the wholeness, they'll help to release what needs to be released, because that's, a huge part of healing. We say release, then ease. So, yeah.
So, Sheila, I've experienced Kali-Maa. I want everyone to know that I've experienced it. Maa was gracious enough to, since I was part of the publishing process, to share Kali-Maa with me so I could have an understanding of it. And the love force that she speaks of, the energy of love from the feminine, just permeates everything. I had such an experience. It feels different, is what I'll say. Energy healing, I do a lot, and I've had other Reiki done with me, and it's great. It's great, but there is truly this energy of love from the feminine that is so powerful with the Kali-Maa. Speak to that a little bit, Rajashri, the love force and the limitless love you speak about in the book.
Yeah, so in the book, I'm trying to help people understand that while we're actively involved in healing, which is kind of, if you will, a dualistic process, right? I place my hands on you, or I send energy to you. But to understand that before the love force is sent, so to speak, and I can talk about that because it's really an improper term, prior to everything, there is only unity. There is only the diffuse awareness that is sometimes what people talk about as God, not always, is what in the yogic tradition is referred to as the Brahman. And it's the limitless vastness of pure being, where there is no definition, where things are changeless and still. And when I say things are, that's not even right. There are no things. There is only this. And in Kali-Maa Reiki, we're using just a slightly different terminology. So I call that limitless love. Because for me, the very basis of all being, of the Brahman, of beingness, of fullness, of emptiness, of wholeness, is love. it's not necessarily relational love, right? Because relational love is me loving you, or God loving me, or me loving God. It's just love as pure being. And that is limitless and it's vast. And so that I call the limitless love. And yet in yoga, there's this understanding that out of limitless love, right, even though it's still and it's pure, there is just like this impulse, this vibration to know itself, to manifest itself. That's the energy of the Shakti, of the Kundalini, of Divine Mother, of Kali-Maa. And so the love force is that creative energy that gives form of all sorts to the love that is formless. And so part of our work, a part of our aspiration in Kali-Ki Reiki is not just to be giving Reiki to someone or to myself, but to also be able to rest in that formless essence, that pure, limitless love. And then to understand the play between, in yogic terms, between Shiva and Shakti, between Purusha and Prakriti, back and forth from pure beingness into manifestation, and to understand that everything that is manifest is only manifest out of that which is pure, limitless love. So in Kali-Ki Reiki, we focus on both things, healing, right? Because when we heal, we get rid of obstacles that prevent us from understanding that we are that, not to mention that we feel a lot better. And so we focus on the healing, and we focus on the wisening, the coming more and more into that knowing of what we truly are. And we do that not only with the Reiki practice, but with meditation practice.
So going back to the goddess and the goddess Kali, she's known as the goddess of death and destruction.
Yeah.
People would say that that's not very, very healing or loving. Speak to that, please.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is important to address, right? Sometimes Kali has fangs and there's blood coming out of her mouth, and she wears a garland of skulls. And especially to our Western sensibilities, you know, we're used to seeing Mother Mary in her beatific, gorgeous blues and heavenly golds all around her. And actually, the colors of Kali are blue and gold and red. And which kind of combines Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene, I think. But she actually is not the god or goddess of death in the Hindu tradition. That distinction goes to a god named Yama, but rather, and she is really the goddess of transformation. Now, she is seen by the Shaktas, the element of Hinduism that worships the divine feminine as the entire divine feminine. She has 10 different aspects, and some of them are more loving, some of them are more ferocious. But the Kali-Maa that most of us see and kind of go, ugh, and, you know, are a little fearful of, can be understood in other ways. And I don't really necessarily want to go into the iconography, but for example, the reason she's got blood in her mouth is because she's licking up demons to protect the earth, and she was brought into being in order to protect the earth. And the humans are also her children, who she deeply loves. So as the Divine Mother, she's in all aspects. All aspects are within Kali-Maa. And the way that she's shown herself to me well, she's shown herself in many ways. She has shown herself to me as very powerful and ferocious, but again, ferocious love, mama bear love, right? And one of the great saints of the 19th century in India, Ramakrishna, was a great devotee of Mother Kali. And, to him, he always felt himself being rocked in her arms. And so this is something in the West we don't understand, that Kali wears all those faces so that she is the energy of creation, of manifestation, right? And she's the energy of sustenance, of giving us lifespan. And she's the energy, absolutely, of destruction, which sometimes means death, but it's like a culling out of what doesn't serve in order for new creation to arise. So it's this transformational cycle between creation, sustenance, maintenance, dissolution, and new creation. It's like forests needing to burn in order for there to be new growth. And I just hope and pray that that's part of what's happening right now in our world, that a lot of the destruction and negativity that we see is going to make way for our consciousness, first of all, to expand and to begin to come up with better solutions for living on this planet.
Nice. Now, I know I'm interested in learning more about this, and I'm sure there are other people that's in the audience that would also be interested. Do you have any advice that you would give someone who may be brand new to any type of energy or healing work if they're interested in studying this at a deeper level?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think it's important. We know to remember that we know now through modern physics, everything is energy, meaning we are energy. And all the layers of our being, our physical, this is energy. Our physical eyes don't see it. They only see this as a solid. And when we touch it, we only feel it as a solid. But that's what our mind is doing. That's how our mind is interpreting it. It's a good thing, right? Because if all we ever saw was energy anywhere, we'd probably be bumping into each other all the time. But to remember that it really is as simple as that. And once you begin to really experience true energy work, it's like that's no longer an intellectual scientific concept. It's like, yeah, you really begin to experience. So, for example, one place to start is to actually receive a Reiki healing from a bona fide, an experienced and well-trained practitioner. And it's just so simple, right? Like they basically do nothing. We place our hands on somebody if we're in person. If we're not in person, we just kind of like hold our hands up to the screen. Are we doing anything? We're not. There's no manipulation, right? It's not massage even. And physical ailments melt away. Emotional issues find a resolution. So then the mind can't help but say, well, how did all this happen? She didn't do anything, And that's when we truly begin to get, right, that it's energy. So whatever kind of energy we have, when we allow that to happen, that's already a change. It helps to change our paradigms for thinking about energy and energy healing. And then it helps us to see that the boundaries that we experience between ourselves and others are like constructs, just like space and time, are actually mental constructs. Now needed, but to put things in perspective and begin to understand the underlying unity of everything, as well as continuing, being able to continue to work and function in the world as we know it. So, I mean, I guess my advice is, if you have not experienced a Reiki healing or an energy healing, to do it, to meditate, to practice meditation. And of course, we offer all these things through the Wisdom School. And, people are welcome to seek us out, to read the book, etc. And I think we'll do a little guided meditation tonight so people can have some experience. So, yeah.
So before we go into that guided meditation, could you tell people a little bit about the Wisdom School and how they can find out more information about it?
Yeah. So we're still really, we're just kind of a small outfit. We started locally. Over the years, I've mastered about 100 people now. It's a year-long training program. So through the Wisdom School, you can, we have different levels of training, and those correspond to the levels that are outlined in the book. So at the first level, people receive the attunements, which are, by the way, empowerments, initiations to how to utilize the symbols, and also just to the energy, the love force energy, which, by the way, we already are that. You're not being given anything new. It's just being attuned, awakened, and there is a true initiation that starts to happen. So we have our first level classes that introduce us to the energy, doing self-healing, and being able to offer healing to friends and family. Then at our second level, we go into more advanced symbols that both have specific healing applications, but also have applications in expanding our consciousness in our wisening. And then at the highest level, the master, well, that's almost the highest level, our master path, it's a year-long program of group work, and then also individual mentoring with me. And so it's a very deep program. And Sandra, just who we call Chamatkara, has just completed her year, and we're all going to Bali in September. We've got a retreat in Bali in September, anyone that's interested, and she'll receive her final master attunement there. And then we have weekly online meditations, healing group, and I teach something I call Wisening Wednesday, where we go through the concepts in the book and do various guided meditations. So we have classes both online and in person. We do a couple of in-person retreats every year, and this year one of them is in Bali.
Beautiful. Okay, I guess, do you want to go ahead and bring us into the meditation?
Yeah, I'd be most delighted to do that. So, what we're going to do is, first of all, I'm going to invite you to make sure you're in a comfortable seat. If at all possible, if you're seated, either be in a cross-legged yogi posture or have your feet firmly rooted on the floor. Let the spine be comfortably straight. And I'm going to take you through what we call the Kali-Ki 4-part breath. Now, the instructions, as I'm giving you the instructions, may take longer than your breath takes. So initially, you may not be able to follow with your breath exactly as I'm teaching it. That's okay, because we'll go through it a couple of times. And this breath will do multiple things. It lights up the chakras as you inhale downward, and it awakens, therefore, the subtle energies of the body. And then it purifies, because on an exhalation, we take energy down through the earth to the fiery core, where then it is refined, transformed, refreshed. And then we inhale that refreshed energy back up, actually back up through the earth and then through our central channel, which we call the soul line, all the way up to a point above the head called the akasha, about 6 or 8 inches above. And then on the final exhalation, you're going to exhale and wash your aura on the outside of your body clean. And so this breath will both kind of awaken the subtle body, and it will also release what is obstructing, and it will purify, and then it will bring that refreshed, awakened energy up and through your body into all the chakras to above, and then wash the aura clean and also offer a field of protection around you. So we'll do the breath, and then from there, I'll guide you into a meditation where you're going to activate the love force within you. I may invite you to place hands on yourself. And it's really going to be an activity of self-love. So again, the eyes are closed. And you might just start by imagining a golden sun way, way above your head. A small personal golden sun, your own golden sun. And it shines its rays down, and it meets your aura, your energy field, at your akasha, that point about 6 or 8 inches above the crown. And at that point, then, you begin to inhale and you take the breath down through the central channel, the soul line. It lights up all the chakras on the way down. And then when you get to the root chakra, you pause. And you might imagine that from her very molten core, the earth inhales, and now you exhale, taking that same energy down that same soul line through all the layers of earth to the very core. And there, it's as if in the fires of consciousness, what is not needed is transformed, alchemized, refined. And then it's like earth exhales, and that it signals you to inhale back up through her layers, up through the soul line, offering refreshed energy to earth, to your own body, to your own subtle body, up into the crown, above the crown at Akasha. You pause again, and you feel those golden rays descending again. And as you do, you take an exhalation, and it's like those rays wash the aura clean, offering protection as well. So again, I'm going to give you the instructions, but a little more quickly this time so you can breathe along with them. So imagining that golden sun above your crown, shining down. And as you feel it shining down, you catch it on an inhalation and take that light down through your soul line, lighting everything up as it goes down to your root chakra. Then you pause. And then as earth seems to inhale, you exhale and take that energy through all the layers of the earth to the fiery molten core at the center, where everything is refined, alchemized, transformed. And then she exhales and you inhale back up through those layers of earth, through the layers of your being, back up to Akasha above, where once again you feel those golden rays like grace descending, and you exhale and wash the aura in pure grace. One more time. Sun above. Inhale down the soul line all the way to the root. Exhale down through the layers of earth to the fiery core. Inhale, refreshed energy back up through the layers of earth, through the layers of your being, back up to Akasha. And as the golden rays touch Akasha, you exhale and the aura is cleansed and purified. One more time. From Akasha, breathe down to the root. From there, exhale down to the core of the earth. Inhale that reignited energy back up through earth, back up through you, up to Akasha. And as grace descends once again, the aura is refreshed. Good, and then now please come into your natural breath. And just imagine a trishul, a trident of light, standing in each one of your palms. So it's standing upright in each one of your palms, igniting the love force that is already and always within you. Feel this loving energy. And then you can take your palms to any place in your body mind that feels like it could use some love, some comfort, some healing. And just breathe. And feel the touch of your own hands, like the touch of a loving mother. Gentle, soothing, pure loving kindness. Picture yourself being held in the arms of the mother. This is not necessarily the human mother, but the divine Ma. Allow her to hold you. And imagine as she's holding you, she gazes into your eyes lovingly, and you gaze back into hers. In her eyes, you see your own reflection. In her eyes, you see your own loving eyes reflected. And within that reflection is also the reflection of what she sees as she gazes at you. Loving gaze to loving gaze. Being held in the arms of the mother. breathing into this, perhaps letting yourself be rocked, held, soothed. And then imagine, just as she is holding you, you too are holding a child. And this child is the inner you. Perhaps it's a younger you, one that needs love and recognition. And you gaze into this, the eyes of this younger version of yourself, and you see yourself gazing back. You hold the younger you even as Divine Mother continues to hold you, so that she is holding both of you. You see yourself smiling back at that younger version of you. And then you look up and you see yourself also in the reflection of the eyes of the Divine Mother. Breathe with her. Breathe with the child in your arms. Let the child hold you as well. One holding one, holding one. Gaze, reflecting, gaze, reflecting, gaze. Keep breathing into this and begin to feel the three of you as one, breathing together, gazing together, loving together. Not separately, but as one, whole, healed, love. Very good. Take 3 deep breaths, releasing the hold, releasing the gaze. And take your hands back to your lap or your knees or wherever they were. And still, as you can, feel yourself being held in the arms of the Mother. And feel yourself holding the child. Feel the child embracing all. All love, all forgiveness, all gratitude. Then as you're ready, let the eyes open. And by the way, the Mother and the child, and even the Divine Mother, move beyond gender when we do this work. We're all the divine child. We're all the divine mother. And all of that is within us as we sit here today.
Well, I have to speak, but I hate to speak to break that beautiful container. That was very lovely. Thank you so much. I really appreciated that. And I want to, before we do close tonight, if you have any final comments that you would like to share, I would love to hear them.
Yeah, and if anyone has anything they'd like to share about that meditation, what your experience was, if it was difficult for you, or if you were able to really settle in, whatever. I see there's some shares in the chat, but if anyone would like to come on and speak, that would be great. Because for some reason I can't draw up the chat.
Okay, do we have anyone that would like to make a comment about their experience? Hi, Joni.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I do want to share. Before you started meditation, the thought that was going through my head, and I feel like my heart was softened just listening to you speak and everything that you were sharing and your meditation. I literally had chills at different points during it. Um, I just wanted to thank you. I literally feel as though I am softer inside right now in a very wonderful way. So thank you, Rajeshri.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. I'm so glad that you felt that transmission. One of the things we talk about in Kali-Ki Reiki is that mastery is about becoming the Reiki. It's about becoming the love force. It's not really about what we do. It's about who we are and how that gets portrayed, which is a really good thing because there are times when I'm not necessarily in the mood, but it still gets conveyed, right? Because we've worked with our systems enough, because this is what healing is. Yes, healing is helping the body to feel better, right? And it's helping us to manage our emotions and our relationships and all of that. But it's really coming into the wholeness of our being, and we are beings of love. And so that's when we start to exude this or transmit this, sometimes even without intention. And that doesn't mean, of course, that we don't get waylaid by the stuff of the world and the ego and what have you, but we just always come back. And so I'm so glad that you felt that. Often when we give people, when we prepare to give people attunements to the symbols, first of all, they didn't look at it in the book, but they've already seen the symbol. It's already shown up. They already feel the attunement. It's like, first of all, these things happen outside of time and space, right? So it's like, you don't have to wait for me to give the meditation instructions for you to experience it. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
Hey, Sina, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much. I wanted to agree with Johnny there. It was a powerful transmission. And what I felt was I went right in. And it was quite hard to come back, only because it just felt so beautiful to be where you took us. So I really love the word transmission because that's exactly what it felt like. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shauna. So Shauna has written the book on the way of Anana, which is it's an amazing, amazing book. So I've met her through meeting the authors of Sacred Stories, and she too has an incredible force. So yeah.
And you'll be our speaker next Monday.
I'm so excited.
So can't wait.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Okay, does anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
I'd just like to say thank you, Rajashri Ma. And I think that was just such a beautiful demonstration, if we could use that word, of that love, of that love that we've talked about, that is Kali-Ki, and that is what you've brought into this world through the new Reiki lineage. And so that's just a touch of that power that comes through. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you, Ariel. And by the way, I didn't speak about our website, but our website, www.thewisdomschool.us, US, it really, if you're interested at all, just dig through it. It's a treasure trove of teachings and videos and guided meditations, and anybody who takes the time to look at it usually finds that they're thrilled to do it. So if you can do that, if you feel so inclined, I recommend it, because there are many meditations similar to this, but very different for different purposes. So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Raja Shrima, thank you so much for being here. And Ariel, thank you so much for being here. It's been a wonderful experience. So everyone, again, can visit your website. They can go to Sacred Stories also and purchase your book. Are there other locations where people can find your book?
Well, certainly Amazon, and it's available Audible, Kindle, and print, of course. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, wonderful. Thank you again so much for being here. So everyone, thank you for being here. You've been listening to Raja Shrima on the Conscious Awakening Network. So please join us again next Monday for our final speaker and adventure into the goddess energy. And also, I want you to tune in on Thursday. We have Ken Lloyd, who will be with us providing healing sessions. So be sure to visit with him this Thursday as well, and sign up to be on the Conscious Awakening Network so that you do not miss any of these phenomenal speakers. So until then, thank you so much for joining us. Many blessings to you all. Namaste and good night, everyone.
And
Much
may the love force be with us all.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye. Thank you.